Hey Sharon, so thank you so much for coming in today. I really enjoyed meeting you and trying to figure this pain out with you. So I'm trying to break this up into a couple categories here. We're going to get into the exercises and kind of how to go about those soon. Just start with in general. I think where I want to start on this rehab today and maybe for the next week or so until we meet again is just really just trying to get that frequency of discomfort down. We talked about how this is kind of constant every day, several times a day. So we just want to get that number down. We can worry about exercise and fitness and sport and all that kind of stuff later. But right now, just normal stuff: stairs, transitions out of bed, transitions out of a chair, car, those type of movement patterns that are just kind of set you back and that you're not really comfortable doing yet. Let's make those more comfortable. I think the bracing is going to be a big part of that, but also things like wearing a compression if you like. Go ahead and try some heat, try some ice, try some TENS unit maybe before bed. Again, I think during the day, I want you to try to act as normal as possible, and then more of that evening, kind of after dinner, before bedtime, that's when I really want you doing, some dedicated stretching in the hip. I want you doing maybe some heat if you can, maybe that TENS unit if you want. Just finding comfortable positions, because the more angry it is before bed, that's when the difficulty sleeping at night is going to happen. And I think the first thing was we've got to get you recovered and sleeping better and getting a little more rest and recovery before we worry too much about kind of the physical part. All right, so there's a lot of trial and error until you kind of figure out what feels good. We know now that anything in the hip, I think is kind of a good hurt, honestly. Really tight muscles in there, especially that piriformis muscle, a little bit of those low lumbar muscles. To me, that's the good pain, right? If you feel it, kind of lean into it, stretch it. What I don't want is the sharpness in the middle back, and then obviously down the leg. That's the one that, if we're getting that, that's where we need to change our posture, change our brace, and get that pain gone. So, all right, going through the exercises. Again, I don't want to add a lot. I'm going to start with the easy stuff, the stretching. We tried either getting that leg up, so it's going to be your left leg kind of on the couch or table, maybe your edge of your bed if you can, kind of get it up in this 90-degree position, and then just that lean forward. And that's going to be a really good stretch throughout the kind of the upper hip and butt cheek area. I think this is should be a nice recovery position, should be one to kind of hang out for maybe a minute or two if you're really sore and having pain in the hip. The alternative to that was the laying down, crossing the left leg over the right, and again, getting that stretch this way. Play around with, you can push the knee down, you can pull the knee up. This stays the same, and then what happens to your knee is kind of up to you. So find a happy spot for that knee. I know when we kind of got down here, that's where it gets a little tight. So just play around with that. But again, to me, that's all the safe stuff. Your hips can handle that. That's just tightness that's built up over the last few months. Where you can make some really good headway here is going to be by activating the core while you're doing the moves that you've already got accustomed to. So again, the engaging the core part. You do a really good job activating the kegels, the pelvic floor area, but we got to bring that up into the core around the low back. Again, I got lots of cues, but I think the one that worked well for you was pretend like you're tightening a really tight pair of jeans. That's going to make you bring that belly in without sucking in. Again, the activating it and breathing, hard part, right? So just the more you practice, you'll get better at separating those two. But I want you to go ahead and do your bridges like you normally would, but now let's engage first, tighten the belly, and then go through that bridge. And rather than holding that bridge for a long period of time, I would almost rather you do repetitions and get used to the movement, right? So if you were doing 30-second holds, now let's do 30 reps, okay? And get that bridge going with a brace, and you'll know instantly whether you're doing it right because you'll have less pain. Also, you can keep doing your twists. Again, just stay engaged the whole time. Like right now, I'm talking out loud and breathing and engaged. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do. because your body wants to take it away from this to focus on other things. You can also do the band pulling apart while you are, again, engaging the core. And then I know you're also doing a little bit of, whether it be cat-cow, or whether it be those hip hikes. Same thing, but now you're not just, I can easily not engage my core and lift this up, and I'm still working. But I can also be very deliberate and engage that core and then do the hip hikes from there with the core engaged. That's the only difference I want you to make, is you're doing the same moves, but now with better core engagement. So not only do I want you to do that with the exercises you're already doing, but also just when you're sitting there eating dinner, let's work on keeping that in. Driving the car, work on keeping that in. You'll notice that it's going to be hard at first just to feel like you're doing it for 10 seconds at a time, and then you get better and you can do it for 30 seconds at a time, and then eventually you're doing it your entire mile walk. The only exercise I want to do here for the next week or two, I think, is the walking. I'm okay if, walk that mile. Try to get your normal pace that you normally would, but just stay engaged the whole time. You can wear the brace if you'd like as well. We just need proof of concept, right? We need to be able to walk a mile without pain. Great, if we can do that, then we can start talking about adding distance. You can start talking about adding a little bit of pace to your walks. You can do it without the brace the next time. Again, but we just have to prove to yourself, hey, I can do it. Because I know physically you can. There's nothing there stopping you, in my opinion, other than just some deconditioning in those muscles, right? So start walking. Try to make up and down the stairs back to normal. Every other transition around the house, back to normal with the bracing, with the core. And then when you're really having a tough time, when it's sore, when it's achy, that's when we get into that kind of figure 4 stretching. That's when we get into some heat, some tens. Save that for when you really need it. Because I'm hoping throughout the most of the day, if you got a 4 out of 10 pain brewing back there, I'm hoping you can really knock that down with activating the core. If it's an 8 out of 10, well then shoot, go ahead and do the heat and the Advil and the wrap the brace around a little tighter and do what you got to do to get that pain down before you start working out. You're not going to be able to walk. You're not going to be able to walk through an 8 out of 10 pain. We want to just get the frequency of the pain down. Again, I know I'm all over the place. I'm sorry, but normal core, normal exercises you've been doing. Add the core. Try to add the core through stairs and other transitions. I'm okay with you walk. Just be mindful of your pace and your posture while you do it. If you want to think posture too, that can do a lot, because otherwise we just kind of sit on the, even standing, we could just, boom, I'm not engaged. But if you think good posture, that automatically gets a little more engaged. And then, I sent you a brace, and let me know if we need to make any changes there. But I will see you in a week and a half. Any questions between now and then, let's please email me or call me, and we'll figure it out. But looking forward to chipping away at this and getting you back to normal. So take care. Bye-bye.